Yeah, welcome to AWS DevOps Lokesh Tech YouTube channel. So, yes, in this website we have all playlists. I kept all playlists in YouTube. Okay, so those playlists I have kept in this my website. If you click on this, take me to YouTube tutorial. Just simply click on this. It will take you through. See this? Just simply you can see uh, all videos and playlists. Okay, see AWS, Linux, shell scripting, Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform. Okay, so this is my website. Yeah, not this. Okay, just give me one second. So so this is my website, LK Cloud Tech. So, and there is some separate page for YouTube. If you click on this YouTube, you can see all the playlists here itself. See AWS, like watch on YouTube, AWS, Linux, shell scripting, and all these things. Okay, if you want contact me, just simply use this social media. You can reach out to me. Okay, you can ping me the message, and you can email me also, right? Okay, so we can have a conversation there. So that's it. Okay, that's all about my website. Okay, today we are going to discuss about Kubernetes environments, okay, and config maps. Let's get into topic. Okay, let me share my screen. Right, Ashwin, did you visit my website?
Did you modify, sir, again?
Yeah, I've changed it a lot. So I think you did not see this, right? I think.
You have shared link in Google Meet, no, sir.
Hmm. So I have added this. In this, if you see YouTube, if you click on this, it will take you through all this page. Separate playlist I have kept. Social
Okay.
media also, if
Yes,
somebody
sir.
want to reach out me, they can reach out through social media also. So this is what
Yes, sir.
I've done. Yeah, and also in the home buttons, also in home page, I directly given all the buttons. Here I have given one button, here I have one button. So hyperlinks are there, so directly go directly videos. So for
Yes.
if I click on this, it will take you through AWS. So these are all things modifications happen. Okay, so we are discussing today environment variables. I always insisting, right? Have you do you remember that? Always insisting about environment
Yes, sir.
variables in previous Docker also, AWS at the time
Yes,
also,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So that is still again, that is other important topic here. So configure environment variables in applications. Okay. So what is the use of environment variable? Okay. In Kubernetes, environment variables are way to pass the configuration data into your containers. Okay, these variables can be used to configure the behavior of the application inside the container without needing a rebuild and container image. Okay, so you can read it out, or you can read again, you can understand this.
Yes, sir.
If you try to understand general scenario, okay, where I already explained plenty times how we are configuring, how we are configuring backend to front end, how we are connecting integrating backend to front end applications using environment variables, that we have discussed earlier, correct? Right,
Yes, sir.
so same here also. So using environment variables, okay, how we can maintain the pods. Okay, So here if you can see, Kubernetes environment variables are way to pass the configuration data into your containers. Okay, to pass the configuration data into your containers, these variables can be used to configure the behavior of the application inside the container without needing rebuild container image to rebuild. Okay, multiple times, no need any rebuild. Okay, to instead of doing this rebuild, so we can pass the environment variables. Okay, used to configure, okay, the behavior application inside the container without needing rebuild container image. Okay, build, rebuild, no need rebuild container image continuously without needing this I mean rebuild. So by passing the environment variables, okay, we can configure the application. Correct. So that is the purpose.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is common use cases? Common use cases, see, configure management, passing configuration values such as API endpoints, okay, and features, etc. Right. So sensitive information, managing secrets such as passwords, API keys, token secretly. Yes, for this also, for config maps, okay, API keys, secrets. So these are all will be useful. So next coming topics, these are we'll see. Right. So pod metadata, accessing pod specific information like the pod name, okay, namespace, IP address to access. Okay, right, accessing these pod name, namespace, IP addresses, accessing pod specific information like a pod name, a namespace, IP addresses using environment variables. These are all real time like use cases, some of use cases. Okay, so yes, let's just move a bit forward. Let's see these examples later. So this is actually, I already told you, scheduler, etcd. It said how it will store the data in the form of key and
Key and
value.
value.
Okay, same way in environment files also. Okay, in environment files also it will store the key and value. Okay, so in Docker also we can pass like this. So these are all important, Ishwant. Actually, where we will use in the sense in application, we'll use in config maps, secrets also, secrets config maps and environment variables we will use. Okay. So if you can see here, see this. I think this color is not matching. Okay, if you see here, environment variables, how key and value. Key
Co-
name is
Yes, sir.
app color,
App
value
color.
is pink. Okay, in this concept. Okay, so types of environment variables. So if you can see here also, a lot of examples I have mentioned here. So key is example name something, value is something. Okay, key and value in the form of
Yes,
key
sir.
and value type, it is stored. Okay, like this. So next, there are other ways seeing environment variables using config maps and also secrets. Okay, so environment variable types, if you see here, so environment variable types, you can see plain key value. Okay, environment variable name, app color, value pink. So here if you see config maps, in the config maps, name, which means this is key, and value is in the form of config map key reference. So they will keep some key somewhere, it will call from somewhere else. Okay, secrets, Okay, it is the name key is common. Okay, key is always
Yes, sir.
common, and the value is changing. See, in the environment variables, value is very simple and plain. Correct. Config map key reference, where it is from, you will store somewhere from there itself. It will call. Okay, and values. Okay, value secret key reference. Okay, in secrets we will mention like this. So it's depends upon the requirement. We are changing, we are using the environment variables like this. Environment variable is normal plain text. It is like this. In config map we will use environment variable like this. In secrets, environment variables we can you mention in this types. Understood? These ways we can
Yes, sir.
use, right? This is way. And configure config maps in applications. Okay, so config maps, this is new topic. Okay, so okay, let's discuss first environment config maps first. So after that we will do the practical. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so what is config map? So what is config map? As we already seen environment variables, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we learned about environment variables. So in the environment variables, in a pod definition file, however, as the number of pods definition files, okay, groups, it becomes increasingly difficult to manage the environment data stored within these files. Like for example, I'll tell you. So config map, like in environment files, there will be a lot of multiple environment files will be there. Correct. Okay, so these environment files, file definition file, number of pods definition file will be in the form of groups. It becomes increase, it will increase more and more. Okay, environment files we do have a lot. Okay, difficult to manage the environment data. Okay, so we'll have plenty of pod definition files. What is pod definition files? So whatever the file which we are writing for the pods. So and if you write, you are
Yes, sir.
creating pod, in the sense you are keeping some environment files, right? So it intensively, it will increase more and more, right? So which means there are a lot of environment files will be there. Correct. It will become very much increase. So to difficult, so it is difficult to manage the environment data stored in these files. Correct. So that is way to address this issue. Okay, we externalize this information from the pod definition file and manage it. Okay, using config maps. Okay, so you understood, I think so. What is the purpose of config maps? Hmm? So can you
Yes, sir.
repeat once, or else we will discuss again. So basically what I'm telling,
Config.
we do have
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of file, sorry, pod definition files. Okay, for every pod definition files, we'll keep our environment files. Okay, so
Environment files. Yes, sir.
if pod definition file increases, this environment files also will be increased. Okay,
Environment files also
number of
increases.
pods
Yes, sir.
definition files will be there, right? So it will also increase. So
Yes, sir.
which means there will be a plenty of files, environment files will be there. To manage that, it is little difficult. Okay, which means like manage environment data stored. Okay, it is difficult to store the environment data within these files. Okay, whatever the files, pod definition files. To address this, we have to externalize. One thing should be keep extra. Okay, that is, okay, to address this, we have to externalize this information from the pod definition file and manage it externally using config maps. Okay, simple thing is actually we are managing pod definition, like yeah, kind of we are actually simply managing the environment files, if you can understand like this. So we are managing we are managing pod definition files by using config maps. Whatever the environment files are storing, that storing the data is increasing intensively. So then um, so it is difficult to manage the environment data stored within the file, within the file in the sense pod definition file. So that is the reason external one external thing is we are keeping, that is called as config maps. Config map allow us to pass configuration data in the form of key and pair in Kubernetes. Okay, when a pod is created, the config map, okay, when a pod is created, the config map, okay, for example one pod is created, okay, and the config map can be injected into pod. You understood? Here I will increase little bit. Okay, so for example one pod is there, pod is created. Okay, when the pod is created, config map can be injected into that pod. You understood this, right? Making the key value pair available,
Yes, sir.
making the key value pair available as environment variables for application running inside the container. Okay, it is little tricky to understand theoretically, so let us do practically, then you can understand where it is useful. Okay, so so
Yes, sir.
this is a way. So here if you can see here, so we can use config maps by creating this command, using this command. See, kubectl create config map, this is key and this is value. Understand? Using literal. Okay, this is format. What is literal in the sense, I don't know. So Kubernetes is given like this, literal, from literal equal to key value. Understood? So kubectl, next one, the other one, next uh, alternate, like how we can also use like this: kubectl create config map, app config hyphen hyphen from literal app color so and so, and this is one way. The other one is or this we can use. Okay, kubectl create config map, so this is key and this is value path. Okay, so this is the way to create, these are all commands. Okay, so next so how many ways we can create the config maps? In the sense, there are two ways. Okay, two phases involved configuring config maps. One is creating config map. Okay, the other one is injecting into a pod. Two ways. You understood? Two phases. One is one
Yes, sir.
is creating config map. Okay, this is one thing. The second one is injecting. Okay, config map to pod. Two ways. Already if it is in config map is there, we can inject to the pod. Okay, or else newly we can create config map like this, two ways. Okay, next one is similarly two other ways to create. Okay, two other ways to create. One is imperative method, the other one is declarative. What is imperative? Huh, Ishwant? What is imperative?
I'm not sure, sir. And declarative means like within with the commands and single line command.
So actually imperative in the sense this one. Imperative in the sense single line command. You can write, you can keep everything in
Yes,
single
sir.
line command. You can run the command. Okay, 1 second. Okay, declarative in the sense we can write the pod,
Yes, sir.
YAML file. See,
Yes, sir.
this is the way, declarative way. So you just remember
Yes, sir.
this terminology. Okay, imperative and declarative. Imperative in the sense they
Yes, sir.
simply
Imperative and declarative.
we can keep entire code in one line. Okay, so in Docker also
Yes, sir.
we can write everything in one line, right? To create Docker file. Also you can use you can also create Docker file using one imperative method also. And also you can write in YAML using YAML files. So
Yes, sir.
yes, imperative way we have seen, and declarative method also we have seen. Correct. So if you prefer not to
Yes, sir.
create config map definition file, you can simply use kubectl create config map command. This. Okay. So yes. So the specifically we required the arguments. These arguments, right? These are all arguments. We are passing the arguments in the same single line command. We are passing arguments in the same command. Correct? kubectl create config map.
Yes,
These are
sir.
all arguments. We are passing arguments in the same line. Else you can use like this. You can create the pod config map. What is the kind? Config map metadata app config. This is the name and data. So this in the data we are giving. So like this. Okay. So how to create the config maps? So like this. kubectl create config map manifest file, which means YAML file. So this is the way, right? So shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yes, I'll share with you code. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sure, sir.
You can share with me. Where is that? Me. Ishwant, can you hear me? Ishwant, are you able to see? Okay,
So the
okay.
voice is very low, sir.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, yeah, it's no, it's clear now, sir.
Okay, so you can share my screen. I think there is network disconnect.
The screen is shared, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah, you can share console. Yeah, fine. So I will share with the one manifest file. Yeah, just take this.
Do I need to make any changes, sir?
No, 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 no. Just a default. You can use that. Just to check once before you doing something. Just cross check
Yes, sir.
once. What is there inside? Just try to understand that first.
Yes, sir. We are creating a pod with the environment and image is simple web app color, sir.
Hmm.
Shall I change the image, sir, or let it be same?
Okay, just keep like that. If it is not works, we'll keep our own image.
Okay, sir. Container is 8080.
Hmm.
It's right, sir.
I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
sure this image is available or not, but let's see. Just try with it.
Sir, what should I give the file name, sir?
env
Sir,
env1 dot yml like that. Okay. Okay, check once. Kubectl get pods.
error image pool, sir.
Error image. Okay, change the image. Try with your image. Your image is working or not?
I did not try, sir.
Okay, try now
I
then.
doc with Docker I tried, sir.
Okay, try now here. No, no, sign in. What happened? You have to delete old
Delete.
one.
After
Yeah,
delete.
conflicting. Hmm. It's working. Your
It's
image is
running, sir.
also working fine, right?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Okay, wait 1 second. Okay, right. So now let's create a config maps. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so first we'll see in imperative method. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I'll share with you.
You have shared something. Should I copy that, sir?
That is also almost similar.
Okay, okay, sir.
Scroll down. No, no, both are different commands.
Sir, I'll copy for
Okay,
notepad, sir.
okay, fine. Do that. Imperative. First one command you can run. Next command later you can run. Copy.
Do I have to change any file? There is no file name, no, sir,
N-
here.
which one?
In here.
No, no, just run it. Let's see. We'll see with error. What is that? Created, right?
ConfigMap created, yes, sir.
Okay. So then kubectl get the config map. So that name hyphen o, name of the config map. Kubectl get config maps. Wait, it's config map only. Okay. So name you have given after the hyphen
Yes, sir.
o yml hyphen o yml. Enter. Try it.
OML not allowed.
YAML. Give YAML.
It's stuck, sir.
Hmm. I've seen. Wait.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes. Now.
Yes, some network issues, sir.
Yeah.
Shit.
I've sent one comment. Check once. So there you have to change name. Is that name? Name should be. Is that YAML name? File
Maybe, sir.
name?
Like file name.
Maybe try with file name and also config name both.
Okay, sir.
Copy. Next. Paste here again. No, no, no. Paste here again. Change with the config name. So config map created, right? With that name.
Yes, sir. This one.
Yeah. Try with it. Both. First try, second try. Next, try with second one.
not sure with config map names are like I
Check
forgot.
then, check then. Kubectl get. Mm,
Only app config.
mm, check once here.
Its API version is v1 data app color blue app mode prod kind and config map metadata. It's like a YAML file, sir.
Mm,
Config
mm, mm,
maps YAML file.
mm.
Yes, sir.
Next metadata. Okay. Okay, fine. Next. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Try with a declarative method. So two I have given right for you.
Yes, sir. This is another way.
Another way. Try with it. First kubectl create
For file,
config map app hyphen config
yes, sir.
from first one is literal and second one using file. Okay,
Yes,
that is
sir.
a
Now
difference.
I have
Yeah.
to create a file, no, sir.
Let's try with this first. If that will navigate us right. Paste here. Enter. So reading app config properties such file or directory. So we don't have file.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That's okay. No problem. That's not a big deal. So take this one declarative method.
This file, sir.
Hmm. Create a file name config map dot yml. What kind of noise is getting from your end?
Nona saw something outside. Close it.
Okay. Version 1 config map kind we have mentioned config map metadata some name we have given. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
And app key value key is blue value is prod. Try.
I should apply or I should use that command, sir.
You can apply it. Not a big deal. Kubectl get
It
config
gives
maps.
warnings.
What is that? Warning
It is
it doesn't.
configured, but it is warning.
No, that's okay. Neglected. Okay. So kubectl get config maps.
Yes, sir. It is saying that it should be created declaratively by either kubectl create hyphen save config or kubectl apply.
What is that? That simple warning. This is very
Yeah,
negligible. Not a big deal. Okay.
yes, sir.
Automatically patched. Okay. Kubectl get
Sir.
to CM. Okay. Kubectl describe config maps.
Which
Enter.
one, sir?
Anyone.
App config.
Anyone. Enter.
But we have created only one. This is data two.
So read out.
Name is app config, namespace, default, labels none, annotations none, data, app color blue, app mode prod, binary data, events none.
Okay. So all right, that's fine. Okay. Yes, that is this is how we can describe the config maps. Correct.
Yes, sir.
So data to, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Mm, so what I told you before that. So I told two ways to do this, right? First
Yes,
one
sir.
is we
Imperative
have
declare.
no. Before that I told other thing. So to create two phases involved, that is for one is creating config map, other one is injecting it into a pod. Okay, config maps create one way, the other one is injecting into one pod. You understood? So you
Yes,
have
sir.
config maps, right? You can use that
Yeah, yes, sir.
config map into your pod. That is way. Okay, I sent you
Yes, sir.
one manifest files. Can you open? So our config map name is app config only, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what, which means already we have created a config map. By using that config map, we are injecting into new pod. Can you increase bit little bit your console? So I could not able to see much. Control plus plus. Yeah, see little bit. One more again. That's good. Yeah, I can say now.
Yes, sir.
So create a config map 2, I think so, right?
Yes, sir.
So API version 1, why pod it is. Okay, we are creating pod. The pod name is simple web app so and so.
This is
Uh,
already there, sir. Pod. I should change the
then
name.
change. Okay, simple web app config something like that.
And image also shall I change, sir?
Yeah.
It was not working.
Okay. So what is a config map? So you can see that.
App config. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here normally till container port is same. So after
Yes,
that
sir.
we are mentioning environment files, right? Env
Yes, sir.
from. So in the environment, only creating environment at that time we have mentioned only environment. Okay, key and value both simple line. Okay, key and value. But here, if you see config maps, we have to mention env from where config maps we are taking, right? Config
Yes, sir.
map reference, and we are using existed config map, which is app config map. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then fine. Earlier we have created already app config map that we are simply injecting into our current pod. That's it. Save it.
Yes, sir.
You understood? That's what I said in theory.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, run it. Create or apply anything. Hmm. Okay, check. Okay, created. And check the config maps. So the same one only. Can you describe pod? Which one created? Just now we have created so and so. Enter. Okay, read out from the first.
So name is simple web app config, namespace is default, and node number, node ID is there, and IP of the node, and container details, container website 2, container ID, and image name, image ID, and
Mm,
port is 8080 TCP,
mm,
and environment variables from app config,
mm.
config map, optional false is the
That's
environment
okay,
none.
optional. That's leave it first. But here environment variables from apps config,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yeah,
So it is applicable. All right. Okay.
and that's it, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Next. Okay. Other one I'm giving it. Take this. Create this one. That is very sample, small one.
Yes, sir. Should I change the name, sir? Name of the config?
Yeah. No, 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 no. 1 second. That is okay. Config name. Okay, fine, fine. So using that config name, you have to create other pod.
Yes, sir.
I think config 3, config map 3, map 3.
Yeah, it's created, sir.
Okay, check once. Config maps. kubectl will get config map CM. Okay, so new one came right.
Yes, sir.
8 seconds.
Config one.
Uh, so using this config one, you can create a pod. So you can use old manifest file only just to change the config name. You have already copied that in. You have already filed that in your notepad, right? You
Yeah.
can change
Should
here.
I create a new file, sir?
Huh? You have to create now. How can you edit that old one? New one. Hmm. Not don't change there. Copy it somewhere. You can change then. This is old file, right?
Yes, sir.
In your notepad, copy. Hmm.
I have to change container names. What is created, sir?
Yeah, describe it. Okay, check once a config environment variables.
Yes, sir. App
Ah,
config one.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, all right. Okay, so next, this is how we have to create the config and we have to inject into new pod. This is just learn like this till now. So next, I will let
Yes,
you
sir.
know. Next, actually, we are going to after all the components. After learning all the components, we are going to do a project, a small project using some application. So by using ConfigMaps, secrets, okay, by creating pod also, how to run the application by using Kubernetes. We'll see that in later, lastly. But at the time, if you want to understand, you have to at least you have to have a somewhat hands-on on this small topics. That's why I'm just focusing on this, right? So just learn like this. We'll see. You can understand there itself what is the use of, okay, in the application. Okay, secrets. How we can use the secrets and all. Right.
Okay, sir.
So next topic would be secrets. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
so yeah, that's it. Yashwant. Okay. We'll see
Okay.
in next class. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, sir. Okay.